You can run, but you can't hide. That is the message from Charlotte-Mecklenburg police after they arrested a man they say was driving recklessly.
This is from his Instagram, where he posts videos driving his Corvette Z06.
Right now, we ask that you take a look at this video that's been posted on Instagram. You see a car speeding along what appears to be I-77, whizzing past a CMPD cruiser.
This week, the Instagram user TheStolenZ06.
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 If you've been on the internet the past few days, I'm sure you've heard about a man who goes by the name TheStolenZ06. If you haven't, this is your lucky day. The story is about a man who I like to call the modern day Black Ghost. Disclaimer: this documentary is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. The activities depicted involve high risk, including legal consequences and personal harm. I strongly discourage attempting to recreate any of the stunts or behaviors shown. Always drive safely and adhere to all traffic laws. TheStolenZ06 gained a massive following on social media. He posted 360 videos of toying with police officers almost as if he was in a video game. As of me recording this video, he has accumulated over 400,000 followers in only 20 posts on Instagram. And as you'd probably guessed, posting your crimes for the whole world to see can only end in one way. It's just a matter of time. Let's take a closer look of what he posted that ultimately led to his demise. After going over these videos, it's easy to wonder why it got so much attention. What made TheStolenZ06 so fascinating to millions of people? Was it the excitement of the chases, how dangerous and risky they were? Or was it just the thrill of seeing somebody openly challenge the law? This story became more than just about a man and his car. It turned into a show that millions couldn't stop watching. While these videos were a clear hit, it makes you think deeper and wonder, what was TheStolenZ06 really after? As we dig deeper into the story, we uncover the motivations of his daring acts. The car community is getting bigger and more diverse as the days progress. On the tip of the iceberg, there's a culture of enthusiasts who just like the idea of cars and find them fascinating. Many of you guys watching this video fall into that category. Go a bit deeper, you're met with the people who actually own these cars. People who like to work on it, build them, race them, and things of that sort. But what happens when you go all the way to the bottom of that iceberg? You're met with a handful of people who I like to call the daredevils. At the moment, these guys are extremely active on social media, and you've most likely come across them from time to time. Guys like Where's 981, Brick Q50, Squeeze Benz, and a newer member of that community being TheStolenZ06. The daredevils are the adrenaline seekers and the boundary pushers. They don't just own and customize these cars, they take their passion to the extreme. These individuals often engage in street racing, pulling off high-speed stunts, drifting through public roads, swerving through traffic, and just high-risk activities in general. If you were to ask any of these people who partake in these activities why they do it, you'd come up with a similar answer throughout: adrenaline. The daredevils love to chase adrenaline. Their activities are frequently captured on video and shared across social media platforms, just like the case of TheStolenZ06. This visibility is a double-edged sword, as you'd expect. It builds their fame, but also attracts the watchful eyes of the law enforcement. While the daredevils chase adrenaline, and sure it looks entertaining from behind the screen, these activities come with serious risks and consequences. Not only do they face the danger of accidents and injuries, their stunts pose a serious risk to innocent bystanders and other road users. The thrill of a moment captured for social media can turn tragic just like that. Furthermore, the legal repercussions are severe. If caught, these crimes are guaranteed to be punished with hefty fines or imprisonment. Among all the daring runs and high-speed escapes we've seen in the past few years, one car seems to stand out a lot: the Chevrolet Corvette C7Z06. From the video of the blacked-out Corvette vanishing into the night on the Texas highway, to the C7 hitting speeds of up to 170 miles per hour while being chased by the LA Patrol, it's clear that this specific car is chosen for a reason. Why is that, you ask? Number one, accessibility. For starters, the C7Z06 is the best sports car you could get for the price. It comes standard with a 6.2-liter supercharged LT4 V8, and it produces 650 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque to the rear wheels. Numbers like that are typically seen in supercars that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you can literally walk into a dealership right now and pick up one of these cars for about $70,000. For that price, you get access to a 0 to 60 time of under 3 seconds and a top speed of about 185 miles per hour. I'm sure it's starting to make sense why this car is a popular choice for many of these daredevils. The appeal of the C7Z06 extends beyond just speed. It doesn't take a genius to tell that this car is extremely aerodynamic. The shape enhances stability and control at high speeds, which make it easier for the car to cut and weave through traffic at speeds this fast without spinning out. Take notes, Mustang owners. Another reason why this is the car of choice for the TheStolenZ06 is its tuning potential. The C7 used by him is not stock. In fact, it's far from stock. So is all the cars used by these daredevils. The Z06's LT4 is a tuner's dream. It supports significant enhancements through relatively straightforward modification, whether it's upgrading the supercharger or tuning the ECU. The potential for power is endless. In essence, the C7 Z06 is the ideal mix of good price, great performance, and endless potential, making it a top choice for those who love the thrill of going fast but also want a car they could use every day. It's really no surprise that the TheStolenZ06 picked this car as his ride. However, the story doesn't just end with picking a fast car off the lot. Let's analyze how these impressive features have been put to the ultimate test in the case of the TheStolenZ06. He typically goes around looking for cops and sometimes even pulling over for a short amount of time. He tricks the police into thinking they're conducting a normal traffic stop, and before you know it, he takes off. This is where the ability of the car really comes into play. Remember when I mentioned how quick this car is? Yeah, the Ford Explorer has never stood a chance. If you were to go on his page and do a little digging, you'd realize that all of his escapes are done around nighttime. And this is popular across most of the daredevils. Why? Because at nighttime there is less traffic. When there's less traffic on the highway, it gives the Z06 the opportunity to really show what it's capable of, making it next to impossible for the troopers to catch up. And also, if you look at all these vets that participate in this type of activities, you notice something similar. They are all blacked out. A blacked out car plus nighttime greatly increases the odds of escape. Sure, the extreme roar of the exhaust make it harder to get away, but realistically, the patrol won't hear that for much longer. Cars used in an escape are typically modified beyond just performance. One of the most popular additions being a kill switch. A button or a switch that completely kills the brake lights, making it harder for troopers to track the car. Another tactic that these guys will use is switching off the headlights. This is a simple one, but I'm sure you understand why it's effective. As we've seen, these guys exploit every trick in the book, from kill switches to blacked out maneuvers and pushing the monster of a car to its limits with tactics that seem almost out of a Hollywood script. But with each escape, the stakes get higher, and it makes us wonder, how much longer of a cat and mouse game can this go on before it spirals out of control? What happens when your luck runs out and the real world crashes into the world of high-speed chases? Before I review the inevitable turn of events, I just want to remind you guys, if you're watching this video and you've made it this far, consider dropping a like and a sub if you're new. 95% of you guys watching this right now aren't subscribed, and it really helps me more than you think. And I want to know, if you could pick any car in the world to allegedly outrun the cops in, what would it be and why? Let me know in the comments. Back to the video. Despite the clever tricks and disappearing act, every story has its climax. And the story of the TheStolenZ06 climaxed in a way that nobody expected. On March 28, 2024, a video surfaced on the internet of what appeared to be the TheStolenZ06 boxed up by Charlotte police. He somehow managed to break out this box, but he didn't make it far because not long after, he was caught again. The driver was identified as 21-year-old Carlos Clark. Police later then executed a search warrant on Clark, in which they found a 2018 Chevrolet Corvette Z06, which by the way wasn't stolen. They found 113.4 pounds of THC vials, 10 pounds of THC edibles, 18.8 pounds of pre-rolled marijuana blunts, 4 pounds of marijuana resin, 3.6 pounds of mushrooms, 4 firearms, and $19.50 in cash. All these finds also bring up the question, if he had so much hidden, why would he take on the gamble of running despite the potential risks? People are speculating that the police had their ego hurt so much to the point where they planted these substances. But hey, at the end of the day, it's just assumptions. Let me know in the comments what you think. Clark is facing multiple charges, including felony eluding with a motor vehicle, hit and run, property damage, reckless driving, assault with a deadly weapon, resisting a police officer, possession of narcotics with intent to distribute, destruction of criminal evidence, possessing marijuana, and it goes on. I'm just tired of listing them all. He had a bond of $20,000, in which he paid 10%, releasing him the same day. Clark had previously been arrested for fleeing and eluding, so as a repeat offender, who would most likely be going behind bars for a long time. Following the dramatic capture of Carlos Clark, the aftermath and the reflection period brings us to consider the broader implications of his action, both for himself and for the society at large. The public reaction has been mixed, with some viewing Clark's daring stunts as a form of rebellion against the authority, while others see it as a clear disregard for public safety and legal order. His journey from a mysterious speeding figure to a well-known lawbreaker really highlights a story deeply connected to today's digital world and the timeless appeal of rebels. His actions, which were made famous through social media, reflect a modern dilemma where being famous can quickly slip into infamy. As we wrap up the tale of the TheStolenZ06, we're drawn to think about why we're attracted to people who live on the edge, people who break rules and often face the consequences for their risky choices. What is it about rebels that fascinate us so much? Is it their bravery to face something that many of us fear, or do we just get a thrill for seeing them perform something so risky? I'd like to have this conversation with many of you guys in the comments. Remember to take it easy, and until next time, my friends.